Well, it's a Friday, February 9th, 2018, and we have an absolutely loaded broadcast today. Not only do I have stacks and stacks of news, got video clips that I got to get to, but huge news as the stock market had good returns early. The Dow was up, everything was up early, and then right about 9:30, it started sliding, then into 10 o'clock, and now it is about, what are we at? About 150 down right now on the Dow today. So we'll be continuing to monitor that. At this rate, it looks like it could be the worst week for the Dow in, I think, about 20 years was the number. So we'll continue to monitor that. You've got new news breaking on Russian collusion. No, not Donald Trump. No, not Carter Page. No, not Paul Manafort. No, not Roger Stone. No, not anyone here at InfoWars, but actually the Democrats. That's right. As well as all other kinds of news. They're still freaking out about the military parade. But Rand Paul was speaking on the floor last night to delay a vote because he didn't want the bill to get passed. So the government got shut down. Then the bill passed this morning and the government is reopened. But after Rand Paul gave his speech, multiple people came out, including a GOP lawmaker, including Bette Midler. The story is on Infowars.com. Bette Midler jokes about Rand Paul being violently assassinated. GOP lawmaker after shutdown. It's easy to understand why Rand Paul's neighbor was so annoyed. Why do people hate Rand Paul so much? Let's go to his speech from last night and figure out, why do people hate him so much?
On a bill that will add $1.5 trillion to the debt over the next 10 years. This is a large amount of money and something that we should be very wary of. This is in addition
to what
we're already running debt of nearly $1 trillion. So we're adding a couple hundred extra $1 billion a year.
This man wants to do something about the national debt.
And a Congress
he ought to be beaten.
Already recklessly let spending get out of control. The bill is nearly 700 pages. It was given to us at midnight last night, and I would venture to say no one has read the bill. No one can thoroughly digest a 700.
Well, we have to pass it to know what's in it. That's what Nancy Pelosi told me.
And I do think
we'll be hearing from that dingbat later.
We really ought to talk about and how we should pay for them. One of the things this bill does,
listen to this crazed lunatic. Wants to balance a budget.
Over a 2-year
wants to do something about national debt. What is wrong with this individual? Shut him down.
Does that sound like a large amount? Anybody at home getting a bonus or an increase in your paycheck of 21%? And yet your government's going to spend 21% more without really having a full debate, without having amendments. The exchange you just watched was me asking to have a 15-minute vote. I've been asking all day. I've been asking all week for it. We could have literally had dozens of votes today, but we squabble because people don't want to be put on the spot. So the reason I'm here tonight is to put people on the spot. I want people to feel uncomfortable. I want them to have to answer people at home who said, how come you were against President Obama's deficits, and then how come you're for Republican deficits? Isn't that the very definition of intellectual dishonesty? If you were against President Obama's deficits...
Wow, look at this man, a man with principle.
Deficits, isn't that the very definition
a man who stands for something.
Of hypocrisy?
A man who's consistent. Unbelievable.
People need to be made aware.
Bette Midler wants him violently assaulted.
People from home, and they need to answer this debate. We should have a full-throated debate. My amendment says this simply. We should obey the budget caps. What are budget caps? These are limits.
Oh my gosh. So there's Rand Paul. You can pull him down, guys. There's Rand Paul saying, hey, look, I complained about debt when it was Obama. I'm going to complain about the debt when it's Trump. And then Charlie Dent, a Republican from Pennsylvania, says he understands why Rand Paul was attacked by his neighbor. And then Bette Midler says, where's Rand Paul's neighbor when we need him? How dare a man in government have principle? How dare he be consistent? Somebody beat him up. We are blasting through time and space here at Infowars.com. It is Friday, February 9th, 2018. Filling in for Alex today, I'm Owen Schroyer. We will be hearing from Alex, though, at some point along this live broadcast spectacular. Today, we've got Matt Bracken joining me at 12:30 Central. Dr. Jerry Corsi joins me at 1 o'clock Central. And I've got stacks of news, all kinds of clips, everything to get to, as we are getting a more clearer picture of some of the intrigue involving the Me Too movement, some of the intrigue in the White House. And we're going to be talking about some of that today in the opening segment, if you heard that. You've got GOP lawmakers saying that they understand why Rand Paul got assaulted by his neighbor. Bette Midler says, where is Rand Paul's neighbor when we need him? Insinuating that he needs to come out onto the floor of Congress and beat Rand Paul up because he's giving a speech right now about the national debt that just continues to rise, that the Republicans just signed a 2-year funding bill that will increase the debt. What are you going to do, you know? What are you going to do? So you've got all of that going on. Government shut down last night. Government reopened today. Stock market up this morning. Now it's down currently. We'll be monitoring that. But how about the Russian collusion? Oh, we are now down over 200 on the Dow. So it is seeing fierce drops really ever since about 9:30 a.m. this morning when it was on the rise. But how about Russian collusion? Man, there sure is a lot of it, isn't there? Except it's not from Donald Trump or the Republicans. It's from Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. Now, this is the story is Mark Warner is texting with Russian oligarchs in effort to contact Christopher Steele about the dossier. And that is being called Steele's back channel to the Democrat senator was a lobbyist for Russia's foreign minister. So you've got Mark Warner communicating with Russians about the dossier, which was meant to influence the 2016 election. You've got Christopher Steele, who was paid for through a conduit, Fusion GPS, by Hillary Clinton to make up the fake dossier. So you've got the Democrat presidential candidate Hillary Clinton colluding with Russians via Christopher Steele. Where do you think they got the intel on the dossier? Wasn't that used to influence the election? Hillary Clinton colluded with Russians to influence the election. Then you've got Mark Warner texting with Russians, colluding with Russians about the dossier that was meant to influence the election. So we flash back, though, because the Democrats are really hypocritical. Unlike Rand Paul, who says, I complained about increasing the debt when it was a Republican. I complained about increasing the debt when it was a Democrat. I'm complaining about it now because this isn't good. We need to have a conversation. The bill passed anyway. But here is Mark Warner, not consistent, total double standard, total hypocrite, on Fox News, saying he doesn't know anyone that would ever take a meeting with Russians.
I think that the president, frankly, I can't believe what he's saying. Here was in black and white an email that said,
did this guy just get back from a Cypress Hill concert?
Lawyer, acting as an agent of the Russian government, and this is part of the Russian government's effort to help then candidate Trump and to discredit Clinton. I don't know anybody, Democrat or Republican, that would take that kind of meeting with not only a foreign government, but a foreign adversary, and frankly, a government that we've learned was trying to hack into our whole electoral process, and frankly, fairly successfully was able to interfere.
Wow. A lot of claims there back in the day from Mark Warner. None of them ended up being true. Not even a single one. And then he gets caught colluding with Russians. Wow. We're all shocked. Oh, Donald Trump is just trying to discredit Hillary Clinton with these fake attacks. Wait. Hillary Clinton paid for a fake dossier. Why is it even called a dossier? It's a work of fiction. It's made up. It never happened. It never existed. It's a woozy. And they use that to try to influence the election. They use that to allow Hillary Clinton to spy on President Obama. Then, in a whole, that is a ballpark in and of itself. Then you have an entirely different ballpark with Hillary Clinton's email scandal being dropped by the FBI, the investigation. President Obama wanting to know everything about the investigation. Why? Because he was involved. Because he knew. Because he was emailing that private server. Now you understand why Obama lawyered up. Now you understand why Obama didn't mind the Department of Justice and the FBI letting Hillary Clinton off, writing her off before the investigation ever happened. Oh, now you get it. That's right. So here's Matt Gaetz, though, from last night on Sean Hannity, saying exactly what everyone with a working brain, with a soul, with a conscience is thinking right now in America.
The real question is whether or not there's going to be any consequences, because the Clintons for decades are used to having a different standard of justice applied to them than is applied to the rest of the American people. That's why I filed legislation with countless other conservative colleagues like Mark Meadows and Jim Jordan and Todd Rokita, calling for a second special counsel to look into the Clinton Foundation and Uranium One, because, I mean, we can't have Mueller investigate. He should have raised an objection. We can't have Rosenstein investigate because we've already seen the extent to which he's tied up in a lot of these facts, and Jeff Sessions has recused himself. So the only way this doesn't become the next Benghazi, where we stir up a bunch of facts but then let the Clintons off the hook, is to appoint a special counsel, and we need our Attorney General to do that.
Well, there you go. Saying what everybody is thinking. Why isn't Hillary Clinton's ass in jail? Why hasn't Hillary Clinton been hauled in front of a grand jury? Why hasn't, here you go. And this is why Chuck Grassley is so smart. Because he realizes that Christopher Steele is the one that needs to talk right now. What communication did Christopher Steele have with any of the following individuals? Hillary Clinton, Sidney Blumenthal, Barack Obama, before he wrote the fake dossier. Who were Christopher Steele's sources in Russia that he used to make up the fake dossier? Did those sources even exist? We're just going about what they're saying. This is their story. Steele's got 5 sources, one of them domestically, at least 3 in Russia that were working for the Russian government. Who were they? And how is it that we live in a time that is not the Twilight Zone, but is reality? If you understand this, you understand everything. Why did they say Trump colluded with Russia? Because they colluded with Russia. Why do they say Trump is some sort of pervert that abuses people? Because they're perverts that abuse people. Why do they say that Donald Trump is a racist? Because they're racists. And I've got stacks of news proving all of that. Notice how they still have nothing to prove Donald Trump as any of the accusations they make against him. 0. This is just one day's worth of news where I prove everything about them that they accuse Trump of being. But so what do? They collude with the Russians to influence the 2016 election. How do they do it? They pay Christopher Steele to make up a story about Donald Trump. He sources and cites at least 3 Russians that work for the Russian government to do that for that information. So what do you call that? Do you call that Hillary Clinton colluding with foreign intelligence assets, including Russian foreign intelligence assets, to influence the 2016 election? And then what do you call it when it's well known that's what went down, and then the FISA court with the FBI and the DOJ's signature uses that fake document to spy on American citizens? You know what you call that? Treason. Hangable.
This is ad-free Alex.
Ad-free Alex. He also likes to eat a lot of nuts and pretty much anything you put in front of him. But he is actually kind of telling the truth about something. He's a little confused about the issues, as liberals are right now. And we just say liberals. These people aren't actually liberals. They're brainwashed minions. But he's talking about the Civil War, how they're actually fighting the Civil War against Trump. So he's kind of right. There is a bit of a civil war right now, but the bad guys are the people that are against Trump. That's the establishment. That's the globalists. That's the anti-Americans. Those are the racists. Those are the eugenicists. Those are the fake news media. And that's who Rob Reiner has teamed up with here. So they're admitting, like, yeah, Trump is our enemy. We're trying to take him out. We're trying to ignite civil war. We're trying to take down the Republicans, the conservatives, fight them in the streets, fight them in Congress, fight them everywhere, kill Trump. It's all good. This is our civil war. So here's Rob Reiner, fresh off the buffet, saying, we are fighting our last battle of the Civil War.
But then he gets into office, and there are good people on both sides in Charlottesville, and there are people coming from countries, and it goes on, and you see the people
going on with
that
Rob
he
Reiner
hires that are in his administration, and we see that this now becomes the last battle of the Civil War.
Can Rob make it?
And we're fighting it right now. And we're going to win.
Oh.
We're going to win. But we thought we were on this glide path. We've been dragged back, and we're going to win, because if we
Once
don't
he butters
win,
himself out of that limo, he's going to win.
This country started as, which is we are all
There he goes.
one. We are all created equal. That promise will not be realized
Wonderful.
unless we can overcome what has happened in this last election, and I know we will.
It's been terrible. Oh, what's happened in this last election? Look at the economy. Look at the jobs growth. Look at the, it's so bad. I mean, I've got a story today that illegal border crossings are down. I mean, who would want that? Why? Why are illegal border crossings down? This is terrible. Why is manufacturing coming back to America? I thought America was going to be crushed. I thought those racists were going to die. Now they get jobs back. Unemployment's down. Welfare's down. Do something about it, Rob. Start a civil war, Rob. Start a civil war, Rob. Help me defeat America. I can't stand it. I can't stand these repatriation fees from Apple and all these companies. Billions of dollars. It's just horrible. People chanting USA on the Hill of Congress during the State of the Union, people would dare chant USA. Don't they know how offensive that is? Oh. Once Rob Reiner finishes up at the buffet and butters himself out of his limo, he's going to lead us. He's going to lead us to victory in the Civil War. Rob Reiner. He's the one. Yes, Rob Reiner. No, maybe it's not Rob Reiner. Maybe it's psycho Keith Olbermann. No, it's not Keith Olbermann. He quit. Maybe it's psycho Joe Scarborough. Nope, it's not him. Maybe it's Lena Dunham. Is it Lena Dunham? No, it's not Lena Dunham. Maybe it's Stephen Colbert. No, it's not Stephen Colbert. No, it's none of those people. No, none of those people are leaders of a movement. None of those people are leaders of a revolution. No, they're leaders of soul-sucked, brainwashed minions. You know who is leading a revolution, though? President Donald Trump. And you'll notice how different things are today. Unless you're asleep. Nobody used to monitor the stock market, at least on a wide national scale like they do today. It used to be Fox Business was the only thing that would monitor the stock market all day long. Now Fox News does it too. That's different. That's new. That's people paying attention to the economy, people paying attention to the stock market, not because they're interested because they have financial interest, but because they want to know about America. They want to know about America's regrowth. They want to know about the boom that's happening in America right now. They're curious. They're looking at the results. They're seeing what Trump has created. They're seeing it in its infancy, and they're saying, okay, he's pulling all these regulations. He's changing foreign policy. He's ending political correctness. He's fulfilling his promises. That's unheard of as far as the president is concerned, fulfilling promises from the campaign. I mean, how often do you have that happen other than never? So they're kind of watching and they're curious. All right, what's going on here? All right, manufacturing coming back, welfare going down, food stamps usage going down, repatriation fees, we get tax cuts, people are getting bonuses. Wages are going up, not because somebody wrote a law, but because we cut the taxes. And Trump is making deals with these companies. And he's calling them, and he's on the phone all day, all night, making deals, cutting deals, getting manufacturing back, cutting taxes. And then Rob Reiner and Stephen Colbert and the rest of this anti-American, low-life, libtard filth is going to tell you you're having a civil war, a revolutionary war against yourself. In no other world other than the Twilight Zone can you convince a group of people that they are fighting a war for the good against their own self-interest, except here in America. You want to fight the Civil War? Destroy America. But I'm an American. Well, you're a racist. And that's their logic. And that's what you get from the entertainment industry in Hollywood. That's what you get from the liberal higher education system at the universities. That's what you get when you're dumbed down by all the chemicals in the water and the food, and then you can't even think for yourself. And then you believe someone like Stephen Colbert, who came out with a new cartoon. We'll be playing that later. But check out this study. Study finds, releases this study, astonishing number of viruses float down on us from the sky. The study carried out by researchers in the U.S., Canada, and Spain is the first of its kind to confirm viruses are being swept up into the free toposphere and below the stratosphere. And then they are coming down in tiny particles on top of our heads, essentially, raining down on us. Now, attempted illegal entries on Mexican border drop in January. Well, that's good news. They've kind of gone up and down, but overall they've definitely dropped since Trump was elected. That's what we elected him for. That's what we have a country for. That's what we have borders for. And then Mad Dog Mattis says immigrant service members won't face deportation. You know, I'm really getting irritated about this. This statement is inherently factual. You shouldn't have to make this statement. You shouldn't have to say that immigrant service members won't face deportation. Why are we losing the intellectual battle of lexicon and vernacular with these people? We should be crushing them on this front. Immigrant service members won't face deportation. Immigrants won't face deportation. Why do we refuse to address this as it should be? Why do we conservatives, whatever you want to clarify us as, Trumpists, righties, whatever, I don't care. Why do we not get this battle? Why do we not dominate this battle? Illegal immigrants. So is Mattis saying illegal immigrant service members won't face deportation? Because immigrant service members should have never faced deportation to begin with. If you're an immigrant, you followed the law and you are a citizen here. I'm just really not understanding this. What are you guys showing me here? The crew has pulled something up here. Legal immigration versus illegal immigration. This is a book. Good. This is a book intended for grades 6 to 8. No, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, this is so common. This is such common sense. Like, why do we lose this battle? Legal immigration versus illegal immigration. You don't even need a textbook. So why does Defense Secretary Mattis say immigrant service members won't face deportation? That's a given. That should be a given. Why are we losing this battle? Because Democrats are lying. Because fake liberals, libtards, are lying to you. They're telling you Trump wants to deport immigrants. That is a lie. It's not immigrants. It's illegal immigrants. And when Mattis and others make comments like this gives them a victory. We cannot give them victory. Immigrants will not be deported. U.S. citizens do not get deported. If you follow the law and came here legally and are an immigrant, nobody wants to deport you. Nobody's anti-immigrant. We're pro-immigrant. We're anti-illegal immigration. Please, conservatives, everyone in right-wing media, whatever you want to call it, Trump supporters, we need to stop losing this battle of vernacular. Do not let Democrats win this battle of lexicon and just group illegal immigrants and immigrants together in the same class. They are not. That is anti-immigrant. To put illegal immigrants in the same class of people as immigrants is anti-immigrant. That's the Democrats. So that's how we need to approach this in the future. Meanwhile, you know, Nancy Pelosi, nobody knows how she did it. But miracles happen, folks, and Nancy Pelosi went 8 straight hours on the floor. A 1 minute, Maxine Waters gave her 1 minute. Maxine Waters, she's like, oh, it was the best 1 minute ever that I could have given to Nancy Pelosi. So then Nancy Pelosi goes on for 8 hours. I mean, you can only imagine the gold in there. Here's some of it. Nancy Pelosi, first she's going to show how racist she is, and then she just has vomit at the mouth at the end of this. She can't even make sense. So here's Nancy Pelosi, part of one of the great memories from her 8-hour speech.
I'm reminded of my own grandson. He's
Is he a dreamer?
Irish, English, whatever, and Italian-American. He's the mix.
All right, pause it right there. Pause it right there. Let me explain. This is actually key. Because Nancy Pelosi is actually pretty smart. I'll give her credit. She is smart when it comes to this. She still has a little brain function when it comes to this. What does she mean there? She's actually saying white. My grandson is white. But she won't say it because they've already been outed as anti-white racists. So they know not to say white anymore. So they say, oh, he's a mix of Irish, Italian. No, he's white. That's what she's saying. My grandson is white. So just understand, she's just using all of this language to confuse you and disorient you. What she's saying is my grandson is white. Now, finish this clip.
The other side of the family, shall we say? He's and when
he looks white. Here, pause it. That's what she's saying. She's saying, because she's Italian, and apparently she's not a fan of her own heritage, where they've ended Columbus Day in San Francisco and California. The Italians over there. So. But she's saying he's Irish, he's English, he's got a little Italian, but he looks white. He's a whitey. He's a white boy. Okay? Again, so she won't say it. That's what she's saying, though. It's key to understand. She's saying my grandson is white. All right, now she can finish.
Sixth birthday. He had a very close friend whose name is Antonio, who's from Guatemala, and he has beautiful tan skin, beautiful brown eyes, and the rest.
A little creepy.
And this was such a proud day for me because when my grandson blew out the candles on his cake, they said, did you make a wish? And he said, yes, I made a wish. He said, well, what is your wish? He said, I wish I had brown skin and brown eyes like Antonio.
Pause it right there. Now, why is she so proud of this? What is she saying here? Did she train her grandchild to be a racist against his own white skin? Imagine that is... What's the Mad Hatter? Barbara Jackson Lee or something? What's the Mad Hatter's name, guys? Frederica Jackson Lee or something? You know who I'm talking about. Sheila Jackson Lee, thank you. Imagine Sheila Jackson Lee giving the same speech saying, my grandchild, who's, African-American, and he was at his 4th birthday, and his white friend was, or his English, Italian, Irish friend was at the party, and his beautiful white skin and blue eyes, and my grandson made a wish, and I said, what did you wish for? And my grandson said, oh, I wish I had beautiful white skin like my friend Peter. Now, can you imagine? First of all, that would never happen, but can you imagine if that was the optics and the situation here? So here's Nancy Pelosi saying, oh, look at this. It's all about being beautiful with your brown skin and regretting that you're white and wishing that you weren't white and wishing that you were tan. What is wrong with this woman? Indoctrinating. Can you imagine how messed up these kids' minds are when they get to college? They've been told their whole life that white is bad, they're bad, America's bad. No wonder they say death to America in the streets. No wonder they're protesting against the growth of America. No wonder they hate President Trump. They've been lied to and tricked and indoctrinated their whole lives into hating themselves. Finish with Pelosi.
So beautiful.
No, it's so beautiful, isn't it?
The beauty is in the mix.
Now listen to how she just vomits at the mouth here at the end.
Is all-American, and that
all-American
has many versions. Cock long skull.
What?
None of my friends from my hometown know. He said, my parents raised me to be gritty, never to complain or take handouts. I didn't want to have a victim mentality.
Okay, all right, you get it. After that, she really struggled. I think her dentures may have fallen out or something. She needed to get the, get the old dentures fixed. But now here's Chris Matthews. Listen to Chris Matthews on MSNBC. Listen to his response to this.
Let me tell you, I will reserve.
Tell me, Chris.
picking out somebody from one of the coasts, usually ethnic, and making them the poster person of the Democratic Party is old business for the Republicans. They did it with...
We're making her the poster of the Democrat Party.
The Bronx back in the 40s, they did it with Bella Abzug from the west side of New York City. They did it after Tip O'Neill. They did it after Teddy. Now they're doing it after Teddy Kane. Now they do it after Nancy Pelosi. They love to get an ethnic sort of person from one of the coasts and make them the bad person.
That didn't make sense. So now Nancy Pelosi is considered an ethnic person from the coast, and that is our target, to target ethnic people from the coast. And we made Nancy Pelosi a poster child for the Democrats. No, you did that. And Nancy Pelosi just admitted in her own speech she hates her own white skin. Oh, but leave it to Chris Matthews and MSNBC to tell you the opposite of the truth. That's what they're the best at.
Live from the Infowars.com studios, you're listening to The Alex Jones Show. And now, your host, Owen Schroyer.
Well, we are in a civil war of humanity, of truth versus lies, of real information versus misinformation. And you are at the tip of the spear right here on the Alex Jones Show and Infowars.com. Owen Schroyer filling in for Alex today. We will be joined by Alex coming up here shortly. And which you can see in proof when we have challenges like the Bill Clinton is a rapist challenge, CNN is fake news challenge, and then we get this huge support, this huge draw of people interested in it. And right now we've got the Patriot Challenge. So this actually, to my surprise, has not gotten as much attention. There's my first Patriot Challenge. I was reading from the Nunes memo on the steps of the state capitol building in Austin. I was trying to alert the people that there's been treason at the highest levels of government. So that was part of my Patriot Challenge. I then handed out 50 Nunes memos on the state capitol. So that was just my Patriot Challenge. But I've gotten some of these back. I've been put in charge of monitoring this, which means that I guess I can't give the top prize to myself of $10,000, even though right now, I have to say, none of the Info Warriors have beaten my Patriot Challenge. So I'm laying down the gauntlet for the Patriot Challenge. $10,000 first prize, $5,000 second prize, $3,000 or $1,000 third prize. Folks, this is all about letting your fellow Americans know that you're a patriot and that you're proud to be a patriot. And it's the whole reason why I wanted to do this, A, was because I think it's time for we the people to start calling out this treason at the highest levels of government from the top of the mountain. I mean, we have to force this home. We've caught him red-handed, just like Trump said. But this is about patriots and Americans no longer being afraid to share their opinion, no longer being afraid to say, I love America, no longer being afraid to stand up in front of their family and friends on the steps of a Capitol building, whatever it is, and say, I love America, I'm a proud patriot, and I'm going to stand up for this country. I'm going to stand up for veterans. I'm going to stand up for the anthem. I'm going to be proud of my flag. I'm going to be proud of my heritage. That's what this is about. No longer being intimidated by the violent left, no longer being intimidated by the radical left into suppressing your conservative views, suppressing your pro-American views, suppressing your support of Trump. That's what this is about. It's about taking the culture back. Oh, they're allowed to do a mannequin challenge, and that goes viral all over, professional sports teams. You can do an ice bucket challenge, and all the celebrities want to do the ice bucket challenge. Hell, you can even do a Tide Pod challenge. You can eat laundry detergent, and it goes viral. Well, why can't we have a Patriot Challenge go viral? Why can't the Patriot Challenge go massively viral? So that's what Alex Jones wants to do. That's why he laid out the prize, and that's why I went on the streets of Austin, Texas, and laid down the gauntlet. So, folks, hey, guys, pull up the rules page, if you can, at Infowars.com here. We've got a rule page. If you're interested in this, there's a rules page at Infowars.com breaking down the rules. Basically, you have to send your link to your submission, whatever it is, a video of you doing something, a video of you singing, whatever it is, be creative. Some people have submitted poems. Some people have submitted art. those are probably be tougher to win. I think since I'm judging this, I'll tell you what I'm looking for. People who are willing to go out in public and make a statement in front of people saying, I love America. Or go out in public and draw attention to the fact that we have treason at the highest levels of our government under the Obama administration. In fact, even probably in the office of president. But yes, at the FBI, yes, at the DOJ. So there's the rules, Patriot Challenge rules. You must email your entry to contest@infowars.com with hashtag Patriot Challenge or Patriot Challenge in the subject line. You email it to contest@infowars.com with Patriot Challenge in the subject line. You have to mention InfoWars Patriot Challenge in your entry, or if it's art or whatever, have hashtag Patriot Challenge and InfoWars logo or bug. And then once you do that, I will review it. I'll tell you, I've got about 20 or 30 of them so far, and I've only got 3 right now that I've even deemed worthy of being looked at for any awards, any of the cash prizes. So that means this is wide open, folks. The Patriot Challenge is wide open for your entry. So I'm telling you, here's what I'm looking for. I really want people to go out on the streets and try to alert their fellow Americans to treason at the highest levels of government. Because that's the most powerful video you can get. And that's what we want. But if you want to do something else, like sing the national anthem, read a poem at school, whatever it is, I don't know, get creative. Think about it for yourself. Again, what I did for my first one was I just went to the steps of the Capitol building and with my bullhorn and was talking about treason at the highest levels of government. The next day I went out and I handed out 50 Nunes memos. So again, get creative. What compels you? Go decorate a war memorial. Talk about how important it is that we have people that are willing to put their lives on the line just for the ideals of freedom in this country. So that is the hashtag Patriot Challenge. We want it to go viral. We want people to be proud to be Americans. No longer should we, the people, be oppressed and feel that our views are suppressed because of the threat of violence. And that's what the radical left has done. They've used the threat of violence. They've used their liberal media complex, their Democrat media complex, to suppress our views and intimidate us out of our views. Well, I'm done with it. I'm not going to be intimidated because you got a bunch of foaming at the mouth fake liberals, minions of the Democrat Party like this goon that want me to shut up. And all their brainwashed zombies in the streets. No, I'm done being intimidated by these people. I'm done being attacked by these people. I'm a good person. We are good people, and we love our country, and we want a future. Why do we have to shut up? Why do we have to stand down? So that's what the Patriot Challenge is all about. Standing up, not standing down, standing in the face of the violent left, standing in the face of the radical left, standing in the face of the Democrat media complex that wants to.
Yes, sir. If you want real entertainment, the best place to find it is in front of a General Electric Black Daylight Big as Life television set. Sports, comedy, drama, news, music. Yes, they're all yours, merely at the turn of a dial. This model has a big 16-inch black rectangular tube that lets you see everything that the camera sees, true to life and as big as life. Sparkling contrast and sharp focus give you pictures of such clarity that you feel you're right there on the scene. The cabinet, designed and constructed by America's leading cabinet makers, fits gracefully into any type of room. Genuine mahogany veneers, hand-rubbed for lasting beauty and durability, are just one example of the painstaking attention to every detail, which makes this cabinet one that you'll be proud to have in your home. The precision engineering and careful assembly techniques used in making this General Electric Black Daylight television set are your assurance of television at its finest. See it in operation at your General Electric dealers tomorrow. And when you see it, well, you'll know that you're seeing the best.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
In a civil war of humanity, of truth versus lies, of real information versus misinformation, And you are at the tip of the spear right here on the Alex Jones Show and Infowars.com. Owen Schroyer filling in for Alex today. We will be joined by Alex coming up here shortly. And folks, you make everything possible at InfoWarsStore.com. Why InfoWars is so rare and why we can come on here and be the cutting edge and go with the stories that others are afraid to go with and not have people behind us telling us what we can and can't cover is because we're funded by you, not other interests out there like big pharmaceutical companies or big banks or other people where other media gets their funding. We get our funding directly from you. And we make it easy on you because we sell you great products. We don't just ask for a handout. We give you a great product, and that's how we ask you to support us. So right now, you must take advantage of Salesforce at InfoWarsStore.com. It's 53% off. It's over 50% off. It's 53% off right now at InfoWarsStore.com. And this is a powerful product. We can actually make some scientific claims about this that you can find on the website. But it helps with the aging process. It helps with your telomeres. You're starting to hear more and learn more about telomeres. This is the product to help that process, and it's 53% off right now at InfoWarsStore.com. Let me read some of these reviews, 5-star reviews. Yeah, they want to try to insult our products, but what are you going to do when everybody that tries it goes and leaves a review and it's always 5 stars? So here's a 5-star review for Salesforce. Wow, wow, and wow. Thank you, InfoWars. I've been taking this product all week. I am feeling better than I have in years. I am up early. I think clearly, and my body just feels energized. I studied these ingredients, and this formula is by far a total winner. I love many of InfoWars products, but this is going to be my staple from now on. That is from Mike in Florida. Glad that you enjoyed it, Mike. Let's go to this review from Vincent in Houston. Start running again. I have not run in a while, about a year. After taking this product, my cardio system feels like I haven't stopped training, and running feels like a breeze. This product is truly amazing. You will feel and notice tremendous difference in your life after a week or two of constant use, just like Alex said it would. Let's go to one more review here from Molly in Arkansas. Never knew what I was missing. I take Red Pill, MycoZX, and Floralife, some of our other great products at InfoWarsStore.com. Never knew how much better I could feel. Usually feel bloated, but not now. We'll be trying more of your products. Thanks for telling the truth and letting us know how far down the rabbit hole we were for the last 30 years. InfoWars, 30 years from now's news today at Infowars.com. Salesforce at InfoWarsStore.com, 53% off. Take advantage of that special. Check out the reviews. Check out the science behind it. Check out the ingredients, and you will know why it's so highly rated and how we're able to fund ourselves with these great products. And part of what we do here at InfoWars to be active and engaged and get our audience active and engaged, which we have the most active and engaged audience out there, which you can see in proof when we have challenges like the Bill Clinton is a rapist challenge, CNN is fake news challenge, and then we get this huge support, this huge draw of people interested in it. And right now we've got the Patriot Challenge. So this actually, to my surprise, has not gotten as much attention. There's my first Patriot Challenge. I was reading from the Nunes memo on the steps of the state capitol building in Austin. I was trying to alert the people that there's been treason at the highest levels of government. So that was part of my Patriot Challenge. I then handed out 50 Nunes memos on the state capitol. So that was just my Patriot Challenge. But I've gotten some of these back. I've been put in charge of monitoring this, which means that I guess I can't give the top prize to myself of $10,000, even though right now, I have to say, none of the Info Warriors have beaten my Patriot Challenge. So I'm laying down the gauntlet for the Patriot Challenge. $10,000 first prize, $5,000 second prize, $3,000 or $1,000 third prize. Folks, this is all about letting your fellow Americans know that you're a patriot and that you're proud to be a patriot. And it's the whole reason why I wanted to do this, A, was because I think it's time for we the people to start calling out this treason at the highest levels of government from the top of the mountain. I mean, we have to force this home. We've caught them red-handed, just like Trump said. But this is about patriots and Americans no longer being afraid to share their opinion, no longer being afraid to say, I love America, no longer being afraid to stand up in front of their family and friends on the steps of a Capitol building, whatever it is, and say, I love America, I'm a proud patriot, and I'm going to stand up for this country. I'm going to stand up for veterans. I'm going to stand up for the anthem. I'm going to be proud of my flag. I'm going to be proud of my heritage. That's what this is about. No longer being intimidated by the violent left. No longer being intimidated by the radical left into suppressing your conservative views, suppressing your pro-American views, suppressing your support of Trump. That's what this is about. It's about taking the culture back. Oh, they're allowed to do a mannequin challenge, and that goes viral all over, professional sports teams. You can do an ice bucket challenge, and all the celebrities want to do the ice bucket challenge. Hell, you can even do a Tide Pod challenge. You can eat laundry detergent, and it goes viral. Well, why can't we have a Patriot challenge go viral? Why can't the Patriot challenge go massively viral? So that's what Alex Jones wants to do. That's why he laid out the prize, and that's why I went on the streets of Austin, Texas, and laid down the gauntlet. So, folks, hey, guys, pull up the rules page, if you can, at Infowars.com here. We've got a rule page. If you're interested in this, there's a rules page at Infowars.com breaking down the rules. Basically, you have to send your link to your submission, whatever it is, a video of you doing something, a video of you singing, whatever it is, be creative. Some people have submitted poems. Some people have submitted art. Those are probably be tougher to win. I think since I'm judging this, I'll tell you what I'm looking for. People who are willing to go out in public and make a statement in front of people saying, I love America. Or go out in public and draw attention to the fact that we have treason at the highest levels of our government under the Obama administration. In fact, even probably in the office of president. But yes, at the FBI, yes, at the DOJ. So there's the rules, Patriot Challenge rules. You must email your entry to contest@Infowars.com with hashtag Patriot Challenge or Patriot Challenge in the subject line. You email it to contest@Infowars.com with Patriot Challenge in the subject line. You have to mention Infowars Patriot Challenge in your entry, or if it's art or whatever, have hashtag Patriot Challenge and Infowars logo or bug. And then once you do that, I will review it. I'll tell you, I've got about 20 or 30 of them so far, and I've only got 3 right now that I've even deemed worthy of being looked at for any awards, any of the cash prizes. So that means this is wide open, folks. The Patriot Challenge is wide open for your entry. So I'm telling you, here's what I'm looking for. I really want people to go out on the streets and try to alert their fellow Americans to treason at the highest levels of government. Because that's the most powerful video you can get. And that's what we want. But if you want to do something else, like sing the national anthem, read a poem at school, whatever it is, I don't know, get creative. Think about it for yourself. Again, what I did for my first one was I just went to the steps of the Capitol building and with my bullhorn and was talking about treason at the highest levels of government. The next day I went out and I handed out 50 Nunes memos. So again, get creative. What compels you? Go decorate a war memorial. Talk about how important it is that we have people that are willing to put their lives on the line just for the ideals of freedom in this country. So that is the hashtag Patriot Challenge. We want it to go viral. We want people to be proud to be Americans. No longer should we, the people, be oppressed and feel that our views are suppressed because of the threat of violence. And that's what the radical left has done. They've used the threat of violence. They've used their liberal media complex, their Democrat media complex, to suppress our views and intimidate us out of our views. Well, I'm done with it. I'm not going to be intimidated because you got a bunch of foaming at the mouth, fake liberals, minions of the Democrat Party like this goon that want me to shut up and all their brainwashed zombies in the streets. No, I'm done being intimidated by these people. I'm done being attacked by these people. I'm a good person. We are good people, and we love our country, and we want a future. Why do we have to shut up? Why do we have to stand down? So that's what the Patriot Challenge is all about. Standing up, not standing down, standing in the face of the violent left, standing in the face of the radical left, standing in the face of the Democrat media complex that wants to shut us down and intimidate us out of free speech. So that's the Patriot Challenge. Submit your entry to contest@Infowars.com. Right now, it's wide open, folks. This contest lasts till the end of February. The end of February is as long as you have. So when we come back, it's the Alex Jones Show, and I'm going to be joined by Alex Jones himself.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. listening to an Infowars.com frontline report. If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance. From deep in the heart of FEMA Region 6, Austin, Texas, transmitting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
That's right. We were the resistance first. We were the resistance before the liberal Democrat media complex told you it was cool. We were the resistance when we found out that there was a shadow government, a secret society, if you will, of globalists, an international consortium of power brokers that wanted to bring America to its knees and eventually bring in a world government. But they knew that they could never have their world government if America existed. They knew they could never have their world government if the Star-Spangled Banner, if Old Glory wasn't still waving over the land of the free and the home of the brave. So now that we have Trump, who's done more for America, its culture, its borders, its economy, than any other president, perhaps any other person in decades, and they hate him for it. Why? Because what they've done is they've used their media to deceive the public. Now, you can find examples of this, obviously, on the CNNs and the MSNBCs. That's a given. But their ultimate tool, their ultimate weapon is Hollywood and the entertainment industry and these late night talk shows where people tune in, and whenever you're watching, it's like this. You have to understand the psychology. Whenever you're watching something that's a comedy, you tend to be more vulnerable, more open. You're not as critically thinking, you're loose, you're freewheeling. And so they use comedy when you're vulnerable, when your mind is vulnerable like that, to inject their propaganda into you. And Stephen Colbert is the perfect example. So now Colbert is about to launch some new cartoon called Our Cartoon President. Here is a clip of Colbert plugging that on a CBS talk show.
I'm just saying I'd love to spend more time with the kids. Plus, the military pretty much runs the government now. I mean, they don't even let me come to meetings anymore.
You are a figurehead, so you must wave to the sick and dying.
I guess you're right. The people need my folksy, relatable presence.
Sir, the advanced team has Purelled the victims and moved the 8s and 9s to the front.
No 10s? Why did I even want this job? Oh, yeah, Obama made fun of me once.
So every night you get a chance to talk about.
So now they go to Colbert. There was a little clip from the cartoon.
Cartoon series.
Now they go to Chuck Buffer.
Because there's still more to
Stephen
say.
Colbert, the Alex Jones wannabe.
Things that happen when the camera isn't pointed at him. There's everything that we hear about happening in the White House, but we never get to see. And we're so honored here. You know,
oh yeah, because Obama was so transparent.
Allowed in our cartoon cameras. It's really.
See, here he is. You pause right there. So that's what he's saying. He's like, well, I'm just trying to give the people a look at what goes on behind the closed doors here. That's what my cartoon is about. Oh, yeah. Trump ran for president because Obama insulted him once. Yeah. Trump wants to, I don't know what the reference there is, but he's cleaning up some victims, let's say from Puerto Rico, and he's having the general bring the good-looking women to him. I mean, give me a break. But but that's why they use comedy, because they know when you're watching comedy, your mind is more vulnerable. The psychology of that is that your mind is more vulnerable. You're more open to ridiculous ideas. Look at the Mitch McConnell turkey neck. That's actually pretty funny. I mean, look, if I knew this wasn't propaganda, or if I didn't know, let me put it this way. If I didn't know this was propaganda, I guess maybe it could be funny. But it's total propaganda. They're going to use this cartoon because the average person doesn't follow Trump, doesn't follow the news, doesn't have a clue, but they'll watch this cartoon, and with their open, vulnerable state of mind while watching a comedy, they'll get that propaganda shoved in their face, and they'll just accept it. And then watch what'll happen. Watch what'll happen. They'll have some talking point in that show, like Trump only ran because Obama insulted him. Then I'll go out on the streets and say, why don't you like Trump? And they'll be like, he only ran because Obama insulted him. You watch. That will happen.
You know, I've got some talking points here about Caveman from InfoWarsLife.com. But instead of going with those talking points, let me just give you what I've experienced personally. From all the wives' tales in every culture, we know that the bones have the essence. We know chicken noodle soup is great for people that are sick. Again, in every culture, this has been reported because it works. And there's no way to quantify how strong this is, but the amount of bone protein and the amount of marrow and the amount of concentrated life force that is in this is incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, whether it's for your joints, whether it's for your arteries and your veins, whether it's for your brain, whether it's for energy, this, ladies and gentlemen, is the strongest, most concentrated bone broth formula out there, and it's amazing. Find out for yourself today at InfoWarsStore.com what it can do for you and your family. And again, I want to thank you all for your support. You are funding the information war in 2018.
And you just have to bear down and focus and say, this is what I'm going with. So this is what we're doing with this segment. Before we're joined by Alex Jones coming up in the next segment. Trump suggests perhaps having a military parade. And the media freaks out and the Democrats freak out. And this can remind you of a moment we had earlier where Trump said that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. And what happened? The media and the Democrats freaked out. But what's strange about that is that Bill Clinton, George Bush, and President Obama all said the same thing. None of them followed through on that because they're frauds. And also the media didn't freak out when they said it. Maybe that's because they knew they were frauds and they knew Trump was for real. And that's why they freak out when Trump says and does things, because they know he's real. But of course that's what it is. But now it's the military parade. So Trump calls for a military parade. And folks, this is twisted left and right in 5 ways to Sunday. Let me tell you, the mental gymnastics that a modern day leftist has to do to present this argument, this anti-military parade, is really shocking. And I'm going to break this down for you. But you heard it on the Jones Show yesterday. Arn Manconi, Macaroni, whatever his name is, saying he's going to lay down in front of the tanks. He's got 50 people that are going to lay down in front of the tanks, signaling Tiananmen Square, where the oppressive dictatorship of Mao Zedong and the Chinese communist regime was actually oppressing people. That was a symbol of courage to step in front of it to say, no, you're not going to oppress the people anymore. But then Trump wants to do it to celebrate the military, celebrate the return of America, and give our veterans, give our soldiers, give our troops a moment in the spotlight to be lifted up and cheered for because they don't get it enough. You know, it's all about the athletes and the Kardashians and the stars. They're the idols. Well, no, how about brave men and women that put their lives on the line for something bigger than them? Those are the real stars. Those are the real heroes. But the left hates them. And that's why they hate the concept of a military parade. So, but just to remind you about how fake the liberal media really is, just to remind you how fake their hatred of Trump really is, here's Chuck Schumer from 2014 calling for a military parade. Where was the media?
After all, these men risked their lives to protect us. They experienced terrible trauma and tragedy along the way.
Senator Charles Schumer is appealing to the Department of Defense for approval of a grand event up the Canyon of Heroes that would include military brass, color guards, military bands, and flyovers. It's still in the planning stages, but DOD officials say it's certainly
Look at that ticker tape parade. You know what? I hope Trump does it. And I hope that I get the honor to go cover it for InfoWars. That would be awesome. But let's recall where these people stand. These people hate America. These people hate capitalism. They like communism. But now there's this weird thing where they're comparing Trump in a negative light to communist regimes like North Korea and the former Soviet Union. And they're saying, look at this Trump. He wants to have a military parade a la North Korea? A la Mao Zedong? It's like, wait a second, are you dissing communism now? Because a minute ago you liked communism. Now you don't like communism? Oh, that's right. It's whatever is anti-Trump. That's all it is. They don't actually have a solid state of beliefs. They don't actually have principles. They're liquid. They wait and see where Trump stands on an issue, and then they go opposite that. Trump says, let's cure cancer. They say, let's all die of cancer. Trump says, let's have a strong border. They say, I want open borders. Every other president says Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. Silence. Trump says Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. Everyone freaks out. Chuck Schumer says let's have a military parade. No big deal. Trump says let's have a military parade. It's the worst thing in the world. Now, here's the Occupy Democrats, and it only gets weirder from here. Are these people pro-communism, anti-communism? They don't know. It's whatever's anti-Trump. Oh, yeah, they really hate the concept of a military parade.
Donald Trump wants to go full Kim Jong-un with an over-the-top military parade.
Full Kim Jong-un.
I'm Jesse Dollemore with the Occupy Democrats report.
Now, let me just pause it right here real quick. One thing that we don't like to do here at InfoWars is punch down. This is probably me like having to shrink myself down to about an inch tall to even punch down at this nitwit. But again, I just want to expose to you how their double think and mental gymnastics actually work. How does he start it? He's going full Kim Jong-un. Dude, last month you were on Kim Jong-un's side when Trump tweeted about a nuclear button. These people don't even know, and they don't even understand. See, they have the memory of a goldfish. So they say something and they just forget it. It's like it never happened. We remember what you said last month, dude. You were actually on North Korea's side against Trump. Now you're saying Trump's going full North Korea as if it's a bad thing. Let's go back to this midget. Mental midget.
In a
mental
step
midget.
to fulfill the fantasy in his mind that he is an authoritarian thug, just like Kim
Pause it right there.
Jong-un and his...
I wish Trump was an authoritarian because you'd be arrested and thrown in prison. That's what these people don't understand. If Trump was an authoritarian, where do you think all of these detractors would be right now? Gitmo. You're lucky he's not an authoritarian, you nitwit.
Russian overlord Vladimir Putin.
Donald
Trump
overlord.
has ordered the Pentagon to put on a grand military parade in the streets of Washington, D.C.
Pause it right there. A grand military parade. A grand military parade. Well, is our military not grand? Are our service members not grand? Are the veterans not grand? Are the troops, the Marines, these people that put it on the line, are they not venerable? It's a grand. He says, it's a grand. Yeah, it is pretty grand. Yeah, I happen to think that people that serve this country and put their lives on the line, I think they're pretty grand. Yeah. Yeah, and maybe Trump does too. And you want to make a joke of it. You want to make a mockery of it. Go back to this clown.
Waste millions of dollars and serve to the benefit of
Waste
nothing.
Millions of dollars. Pause right there. Waste millions of dollars. How much money has Robert Mueller spent? Probably the tune of over $20 million investigating Donald Trump's Russian collusion that never existed. They knew it never existed. It was made up from the beginning. He has no problem with that, though. 20 million, 40 million, 100 million. Spend whatever it takes to bury Trump in fake news. But celebrating our military, God forbid. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles just had a Super Bowl parade. That probably cost a lot of money. The night they won the Super Bowl, people were rioting in the streets, burning things, flipping cars, destroying property, eating horse turds. That's a real story. That's cool. That's fine. But celebrate the military, lift up the troops and the veterans. Well, that's just some grand. He's just trying to be grandiose. No, it's not that the military is grand. It's that Trump just wants to make a big deal of it, right? Why can't we celebrate the military? Why do these people hate America so much? Go back to this clown.
Except, of course, Donald Trump and his fragile self-worth. Military parades
he's so
like
fragile.
this serve to put on display
He's so
for the
fragile.
rest of
He's
the
been able to
world
endure your attacks for over 2 years now.
And size of our military capabilities. I mentioned size because ultimately that's what Lil Donnie is trying to measure here. The problem lies in the fact that this is completely unnecessary. There is no mistake or debate about the issues related to the sheer power and strength of our military might.
Pause it right there. Let's not forget, hey guys, pulled it up yesterday. The Washington Post ran a story saying if Trump had a military parade, it wouldn't compare to North Korea's. I'm dead serious. Pull up this story, guys. I mean, you can't believe this stuff. Again, that's what I'm telling you. Sometimes they're on North Korea's side. It's like, are you for North Korea? Are you for communism? Or are you against it? You don't even know. You don't even know. It's always whatever is against Trump. It's always whatever makes Trump look bad. You don't have any beliefs. You don't have any principles. You have nothing. The Democrats have nothing. That's why they can't win anything. There's the Washington Post. Why Trump's military parade could not compare to North Korea's. All right, let's finish it off with this goon.
More on defense than the next several nations combined. In fact,
would that mean our military's grand?
For the research and development of new weapons and equipment is almost $65 billion, which, for the record, is more money.
All right, so for the record, get him off, get him out, put him back in the hole he came from. So for the record, the Democrats hate America. The Democrats hate the military. The Democrats hate the veterans. They don't want them to get the proper care at the VA. The Democrats just hate you. They don't want you to have a country. They don't want you to have a strong military. They don't want you to have a border. They don't want you to even exist.